What is up? Today I am going to go over limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, identity-based habits, how habits form, right? Breaking down the 4 laws of habit behavior. I'm going to show you guys how to actually build systems to change your identity and shift your life, identity rewiring tactics that I've all used, and then actually how to rewire and design the system that will rewire your brain. Going all into breaking down the limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, and full potential. And for any of you who do not know what a limiting belief is or what imposter syndrome is, I'm sure a lot of you guys have felt imposter syndrome before. Just to basically run down, if you do not know what a limiting belief is, it's any limiting factor or belief that you have in your own belief system, right? Whether it's a it's fear. I don't know why I can't speak English, but fear of failure. Right, so any belief that you have that isn't getting you closer to where you want to be, right? So let's say I was going back to when I was playing hockey. I'm a 12-year-old kid, and I wanted to make the NHL. Is the belief that I'm not as good as the guy next to me helping me get closer to that goal? No, right? And like I was coaching a hockey camp this week, and we were going through it with these kids, and breaking through limiting beliefs. And you need to be able to push past. Like if you have a belief that isn't suiting you, whether it's the fear of failing, fear of missing out, maybe you want to enter entrepreneurship, but you're scared of missing time with your friends, right? Like all your friends are over here. All your friends are over here. And you're just like, let's just say that's like 2. John, Jim. Like there's a lot of people over there. I don't know who it is, but they're all standing here. And you're over here on your little rock. And you know what this on your little rock. And you know what? This was me. This is me sometimes too. You're on the little rock. This is the entrepreneurial rock. That's what I'll call that. Entrepreneurial rock. There we go. This is the entrepreneurial rock. And over here is the normal people. Normal, non-high achievers, people that don't face their fears. Right? So this is them. They're all over there. Let's see if I can move that. See? There we go. Not very good people drawing, but you understand, right? The entrepreneurial rock is very lonely, and very fast the smile will turn into a frown upside down because you are alone. It's not fun. Like it's really not fun. People say they want to live my life, they want to do this. People say they want to be an entrepreneur. They don't want to work a 9 to 5 anymore. It's hard. It's not easy. I work 16 hours a day. Yes, I work for myself. And yes, I've made more money than I've ever made. But I work hours, but it's also nice because I'm doing what I love. I'm helping people. I'm sharing this stuff. I'm sharing my information, my knowledge, my skills with you guys. This is why I do it. And it is fun, but it gets lonely sometimes, right? And there's a bunch, it's breaking down to like the biggest things that hold people back from stepping onto the entrepreneurial rock is limiting beliefs, right? It's limiting beliefs and breaking through, right? Like what do limiting beliefs do? They keep you stuck and not living up to your potential. I hate using the word potential. Absolutely hate using the word potential. Like when I was a kid, when I was playing hockey, I had coaches tell me I had potential all the time. And honestly, what that did for me, it just kept me stuck. Like I had coaches telling me I had potential, that I was going to make the WHL, I was going to make the NHL, like I was going to get a college degree. And you know what that does to a kid when you tell them they have potential? It makes them feel like they're doing enough. It makes them feel like that they're actually good enough. But in reality, if you're not in the position you want to be in, you can be good, right? Like you can be proud of yourself, that's for sure. But there's always another level, right? There's always the next step. And potential, almost like when someone's working hard enough and someone's like, oh, like you have potential to do great things. It almost was like, oh, everything I'm doing right now is going to get me there. They believe that, right? But no, everything you're doing will get you to a certain point. And then when you hit that point, you're going to hit a wall, and then you're going to have to reinvest. Keep going, reinvest. You're going to have to change your habits and continue to go down the process. And it is hard. And just when we go and break down the limiting beliefs, right? They can come from an early past failures, repeated messages, right? So for me, when I was traveling, I realized a lot of limiting beliefs I had was the fear of failure or the fear of missing out. I used to never be able to spend time alone. Spending time alone has completely changed my life. Completely. Like I don't know where my journal is, but it's completely changed my life. past failures was a huge one for me. Absolutely huge. All alone in Vietnam, and I don't believe I can do stuff. Like when I first invested, what was it, $6,000 into my first mentorship, it completely changed my life, but I was terrified. I asked for a refund 2 days in. Two days in, I asked for a refund because I didn't believe in myself and I thought I was going to fail. But did that fear of failure actually benefit me in any way? If I went into it and I continued to go with that fear of failure, would it have helped me get to where I wanted to get? No, I had to overcome that fear. I had to punch through it. I had to break through that fear and just eliminate it by doing all the mental work that I'm going to show you how to do down the line here in this video. And repeated messaging is huge as well. Coaches, especially for athletes, this is huge. This is where a lot of my limiting beliefs came from. Or whether it's your parents as well, your parents telling you, oh, you're not good enough to do this. Or maybe a coach telling you, for example, one year I was trying out for a team, and I was power forward, pretty big, played a super physical hockey game. And when I was trying out for one team, I was there the 1 year, and I was like the last guy of the team, only 16-year-old on the roster. There's 2 16-year-old spots, sorry. And I was the second last 16-year-old, and I was like, oh my God, I thought I made the team. And he pulls me in the dressing room and he's like, yeah, like you don't play physical enough. And I was like, what, really? Oh, okay. Like, kind of beat me down a little bit, right? And then the next year I went back and I played so physical. Like, I went out there and worked my ass off. And you know what he said after that camp? You played too physical. And I'm just like, what? Like, this doesn't make sense. You're telling me one thing and it's contradicting me, and it doesn't make sense at all. So then those repeated messages, just people telling me I'm constantly like, oh, they're telling me to do one thing and I do it and then I'm still not good enough. That sticks with someone. That sticks with a kid. That sticks with a human. It goes everywhere, whether you're running a business, like whether you're a chef, whether you're a doctor, whether you own a vet clinic. Like, these repeated messages that people tell you, or your parents talking down to you. Maybe it's a bully in grade 6. It could be all the way back from that, and they're telling you that you're not good enough, or someone calling you fat. If someone calls you fat, it's going to stick with you. It's going to stick with you. But is you believing their opinion and caring about what their opinion, is that getting you closer to where you want to be? No, never. So do things for yourself, but be aware. This is where we break down. To find your limiting beliefs, we want to break down where these repeating messages come from. And that's how we can actually isolate them and then figure out how to overcome them. Right? A lot of common ones. You're not good enough. The fear of failure, perfectionism. That is huge. You got to be perfect. You feel like you need to be perfect for other people in their eyes, for yourself. But perfectionism doesn't get you anywhere. Like, even I've done this sometimes where the video has to be perfect, and I talk to a lot of people that want to get into content. They're like, oh, my editing has to be perfect. My voiceover, my captions, they all have to be perfect. Like, it's got to all look the same. Yes, they should look the same to an extent. But if you spend 7 hours a day trying to make something perfect, or if you post one video a week and it's the perfect video and it flops, what's that going to do to your self-esteem? What's that going to do to you? You just spent 12, 13, maybe 14 hours working on one thing to make it perfect, and it doesn't even perform, right? But then someone picks up their phone, spends 45 seconds talking to the camera, and it goes viral, and then you get discouraged. Just post. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. No one is perfect. We're all just figuring it out, right? And then the scarcity, we're all figuring it out. We're all figuring it out. Scarcity mindset. It's just acting and believing as if things happen to you, right? More of a victim mentality. It's like, oh, like I went to the gym and I didn't really have a good workout because it was super busy, and this guy kind of took my machine, or like I played a bad game. No, it's like, take ownership of your goddamn life. Everything is your fault. Everything is your fault. And when I adopted that mindset and realized that, you know what? Yeah, there's all these people. These are going to be people for right now. Really, there you go. Well, I need like a trackpad or something, but these are all the people. These are all the people. But it's you. And then here's you again right here. Sorry, I'm really bad at drawing with my trackpad, but this is you. This is all you. No one else is coming to save you. Like Jim right here, he's not doing shit. He maybe he's laughing at you. Is he going to change how you look? No. Hannah, over here. Maybe she has a crush on you, but is she going to change how much money you make? Nope. She's not going to do anything, right? Fucking Roger. Roger over here's got a big smile on his face. Maybe he'll make your mood go up. But if you have bills to pay, is he going to pay your bills? No. No one else is coming to save you. If you don't believe in yourself, and this person believes in you, does that mean you're going to believe in yourself? Nope. Right? Like, no one is coming to save you. And when you take it, and also, if you're sitting here and you had a bad day and you blame Felicia for it, right? And then you go to bed and you wake up the next day and you're like, oh yeah, like I just didn't get this stuff done at work because Felicia was lazy and didn't get it done, and maybe I didn't make the hockey team because the coaches, like, because of politics and all this stuff. It's like, no. At the end of the day, right, someone in your position, maybe less fortunate, not as skilled, less money, not as smart, made it work, right? All these successful entrepreneurs, all the successful people in the business space or just in life in general, the only difference between them and us is that they took accountability for their own actions and stopped playing victim in their own story. Because you can blame other people, but it's all wasted energy. There's no point to blame someone else for the position you're in. You need to just, when I started blaming myself for the things in my life and held myself accountable and didn't put my life on anyone else's hands, and I grabbed it by the neck and I took control, that's when I started achieving everything I've ever wanted. And this is the loop most people get stuck in. So your beliefs shape your thoughts, feelings, and they also shape your avoidant behaviors, right? So if you believe you're not able to achieve something, you're going to keep putting it off and keep procrastinating. And people think there's like, oh, I can change my beliefs, but no, like you have a core set of beliefs, and it's really hard to change, and you change them over time, right? Like, let's say for instance, I'm like, before I started working out, or like I put a little bit of weight on when I was in Bali, and I was super self-conscious. Like I almost developed an eating disorder. It wasn't good, right? But when I showed up consistently and relentlessly every single damn day, and I put in the work, and I started to see the six-pack come back. I started to see the money paying off, right? It is scary. But that reshaped my beliefs because I believed in myself, that I believed that I was capable of doing these things. But if you've never done something before, if you've never climbed a ladder before, maybe you're scared of heights, if you've never made $1 million or never made over $5,000 in a month, right? Are you going to believe you can do it if you've never done it before? Like, probably not, right? But then fast forward maybe 2-3 years, you do $25,000 a month. Is that belief going to be there? It's like, well, yeah, obviously, because you've done it, right? You have the proof. And what's the only way to get proof? By physical action. Physical action. That is genuinely the only way to get proof. It's having your stacks, right? It's creating the proof. Physical action is the only way to prove to yourself and to other people, but that doesn't matter because no one cares what other people think, and no one cares about your life other than yourself. I'm just going to be blunt. No one's judging it. Just get out there. Face your fears. No one cares. And if someone's judging you, it's because they're not happy with themselves. Anyway, physical action is the single-handedly only way to break these beliefs and break this loop. Only way. If you don't believe you can be a runner, but you don't run, how are you ever going to believe you can be a runner? Right? If you don't believe you can do something, if you don't believe you can climb the mountain, how are you going to know unless you take physical action? You won't. Physical action breaks every single belief. And your beliefs shape your thoughts, and it's powerful as fuck. Powerful as fuck. But you need to break it with physical action. It's the only way. And the loop a lot of people can get stuck in with this is they have it, right? The belief either keeps you stuck, and then the outcome seems to confirm the belief, so you just stay small. And then what happens? That you stay small, it reinforces the belief, right? And then you get the belief again, and you stay in this never-ending loop. Like right here. Only way to break it is physical action. And then this is the loop. you break into, right? So the belief keeps you stuck, and you come down here and you're like, okay, the outcome seems to confirm the belief. So what do? Are you ready to break the loop, or are you too scared? Are you ready to do the work? No, you're afraid of failing. And then what happens when you're afraid of failing? You go back and you stay stuck. And what does that do? It sends you right back to the loop, and you're just constantly doubting yourself, constantly in your head, and you're basically letting your limiting beliefs dictate your life. You're letting this fear of failure, letting the fear of judgment dictate your entire life and hold you back forever. Is that a position you want to be in? Because I've been in that position, and I'll tell you one thing, it's not very fun. It's really not. It doesn't get you anywhere. You're worried what other people think. But at the end of the day, no one cares. All you need to do is break your beliefs. And how do we break our beliefs, right? Physical action. This is the only way to break any limiting belief. Physical action. And with physical action, obviously, it does take time. But when you take physical action, you will break your belief. 100%. And it's the only way. By taking physical action. How do you learn how to ride a bike? Do you learn it by reading a goddamn book? No. You learn it by getting on the pedals, taking those training wheels off, and going down the hill. Time to hop over here into the second trap, okay? So first, we talked about limiting beliefs. Trap number 1, okay? Second trap is imposter syndrome. And you know what? I even get imposter syndrome sometimes. And it's not very fun. It's really not. But it is a big one, so we need to talk about it. All right, so imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome, feeling like a fraud despite real wins. Okay, so you actually have the evidence. You've taken the action before. You've seen the proof, but you still feel like a fraud. You still feel like you don't belong. I've had this before. I will be honest with you, when I closed my first online fitness coaching client, I didn't feel like I was qualified at all. I almost gave a full refund because I didn't feel like I could do it. I was like, oh my God, I was so excited. I was like, I just got like $5,000. Like, this is so cool. This is so cool because I know how to sell. And then I was like, oh shit, like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I was like, oh, I do know what I'm doing. Like, the advice I'm giving is actually really good and super beneficial. And he's seeing results. He's hitting bench PRs. I built him like on a full meal plan. Like, he's dialed. His mindset's better, right? And it's adapting. He started posting content. Like, another client of mine is like making money now from content, which is insane. Like, this is the most fulfilling thing. But before you see other people win from your methods, or before you see results, you're gonna get imposter syndrome. Right? Like, when I first got into sales, I felt like an imposter. I didn't feel like I was good enough. But you know where this stemmed from? And the only time imposter syndrome is valid, and it's normally a sign, it's normally telling you something. It's a little voice in your head telling you that, right? You're either crediting luck or your fear of being found out. You discount your wins, or you're overworked, right? And when it comes to this, I like to think of imposter syndrome. The only reason you have imposter syndrome is because you're not putting in enough work. Because in your head, like, think about this. If there's 2 people here, let's say, I don't know, person 1, person 2, okay. They both have, this guy has maybe 10 years of, maybe he's been, 10 years of sales experience. This person has 8, okay? They're both on the same job. They both work for the same people. Okay, they're both selling the same product. Maybe they're selling life insurance, sales like that. And now I'm talking about sales. This is a little bit different, but just bear with me here. When it comes down to this, person with 10 years of experience, he is starting to feel a lot of imposter syndrome. I'm just going to put it as imp. He starts to feel a lot of imposter syndrome. But you know what his daily habits are? His daily habits are wake up, work, eat food, eat chips, go to the bars on the weekend. Whoa, sorry, that was really big. Right? And this guy maybe sleeps in past his alarm as well. Number 1, sleeps in past his alarm as well. He starts to have imposter syndrome because he doesn't feel like he deserves it. Right? He's not. But you see the schedule, right? Then we're gonna drop over here. Person number 2 wakes up at 5 a.m., goes to the gym, works on the sales, trains 8 hours after hours. Like whatever it is. Like maybe not 8 hours after hours, but you get the point here, right? There's 2 people. One guy has 8 years of experience. One guy has 10. This person is experiencing imposter syndrome because he doesn't have the same amount of experience as number 10. And he thinks number 10's doing amazing. But number 10, deep down, inside, in his head, internally, he's got a hell of imposter syndrome because he doesn't believe he should be in the position he is, right? Because he has bad habits, wakes up late, eats food, like he just goes to the bars on the weekend. And sales is a very congruent thing, right? Like how do you expect someone to buy from you if you, first of all, aren't the best version of yourself, right? We're helping people with sales. I like to look at it as helping people understand themselves and overcome their fears, right? Like that's my favorite part about it. And I'm not really talking about sales. I'm just saying like it's just such an important skill to learn. It's what I teach all my clients because it works on your communication skills. You sell yourself in every aspect of life, whether it's to a girl, your parents, at a grocery store. Like you sell yourself in every conversation. And when starting social media, if you can sell, you're gonna be successful. And then with this, right? So it's two different examples, right? So number 10 and number 8, 2 different examples. They're both experiencing imposter syndrome. And when we break it down here, just gonna bring them all the way down here for right now. I'll just put little arrows so you guys can understand, right? This is the new cycle we've broken in. Okay, it's a new challenge, the self-doubt, or they over-prepare or procrastinate, and then they discount the win. So this guy over here is over-preparing and procrastinating, and he has to have the perfect damn routine, and he still has self-doubt because there's still someone ahead of him, right? Or this guy, right? He has self-doubt probably because he's not putting in the work, right? He eats food. He eats chips, not food, but like, let's just say junk food, right? Eats junk food. Goes to the bar on the weekends. Procrastination because he knows he has work to do and just puts it off, right? And then you just discount the win. Like, even though they're doing good, like, 10 years, he's at $10,000 a month. Year 8, $8,000 a month. But they still discount the wins, and they still don't believe in themselves because they didn't shift their identity. Okay? So when you become an entrepreneur and you get into the space and you want to achieve great things, if you still believe that you're this little kid working at Safeway, or maybe you're working at a restaurant as a dishwasher, like, and then you make $10,000 in a month, of course you're going to feel like an imposter because you've never done that before, right? You don't feel like it's real. You have to believe. You need to adopt. You need to step into the mindset. You need to, not only the mindset, you need to step into the body and the identity of the successful person. The one that has all the money. But it's also not about the money. The one that's living the lifestyle and has everything you've ever wanted, you need to step inside of his shoes. Even for me, like when I first got into space, I had hella imposter syndrome. I made my first $10,000 in a month. I was like, oh my God. But then I'd like get on calls and I'd be super terrified and I'd have a bad week. I was like, I went 3 weeks out making $1 after making like $10,000 in 4 days. Like, you need to be content with yourself. You need to be content with yourself. And overcoming imposter syndrome is terrifying, and it will come up in every part of your journey. But let's go. It's the exact same as your limiting beliefs. Like I'm literally I'll just duplicate it because it's the exact same. The only way to overcome imposter syndrome is by physical action. The only way. Same with limiting. That's why they're in the same category. Right? Like I have all this, but limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome are the exact same. They're basically the exact same. Okay? Limiting beliefs are just coming before you even start. Imposter syndrome is like the next wave of limiting beliefs that come back and slap you in the face. on the trip. And normally, imposter syndrome comes from not overcoming your limiting beliefs good enough. That's just the gist of it. Like, that's what it is. That's what happens when you don't spend enough time overcoming your own limiting beliefs, and you still have self-doubt. You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna get imposter syndrome. And if you're still not ready to overcome this imposter syndrome, and you still don't shift your identity to someone that has the money, that has the family, and that is making everything, and that has the job, has your dream life, that's driving all the nice fancy cars, you're never going to be ready to break the loop. And if you're not willing to put in the work, you're just going to be stuck. Completely stuck. Okay, well, what happens if you did the work? I like to call this the IECRIO, right? The Ike ROI. This is how we break down and identify your beliefs and how we break the loop, okay? First step is identify and name the automatic belief. We're going to identify where this imposter syndrome came from. We're going to identify where your limiting belief came from, whether it's a fear of failure, someone telling you you're not good enough one time in your life, and then we're going to break it. So once you have it identified, then we're going to examine it, okay? And what I mean by examine is figure out where it came from and why it's there and why you believe it, right? Did someone tell you you're not good at, maybe it's reading a book. Like for me, someone telling me I had dyslexia and I wasn't able to read. Or me, it was honestly myself. I told myself I wasn't able to read because I was dyslexic. And I let that hold me back my entire year through school. I hated English, and I sucked at English because I didn't try, because I didn't think I was able to. And you know what? I picked up a book, and I fucking read it. And you know what I do now? I read every damn day, and I love it. It's one of my favorite parts of the day. You see how it's limiting. One person puts something into your mind that you can't do it, and it's gonna stick with you until you take physical action and just do it. And was it actually ever true that I couldn't read? No. I just told myself that because I never tried to take physical action to read. I just let it dictate my life. And maybe as a kid I was like, oh, it's fine. I can't read, so I don't have to do it. Now it's like all my knowledge comes from books and learning and investing in myself. It doesn't suit you. And if you don't believe you can do something, you're not going to be able to do it. After we examine it, we challenge it, right? Weigh the evidence for and against it. Was there any evidence that I couldn't read? It was just myself. Maybe I was slower than others. Okay, slow. That's it. That's the only evidence. And then teacher telling me, there we go. Teacher telling me I couldn't do it. That's about it. That's the only evidence. And the evidence against it that I could, well, I didn't have any because I never actually gave it a shot and I never took action. What would have happened if I took action when I was like 12? I probably wouldn't have been able to read. Right? But I was so caught up that I was dyslexic that I never even tried. And I just had so many limiting beliefs as a kid. I'm so glad I came over it. And then what you're going to do is reframe it. It's not I can't read. It's I have a hard time with reading. But what happens when you have a hard time doing something? How do you get better at it? By taking action. I'm not a very good mountain biker. What should I do? Maybe practice, right? So reframe everything from I cannot to I can learn. Some people learn faster than others. Me, it still takes me a couple minutes to read a page of a book. Other people can read faster than I can. Some people comprehend information faster than others. Some people are stronger, right? Some people have bigger muscles. Everyone grows differently. Everyone is completely different. Genetically, we're all different. But everyone can learn. Everyone can learn. And you have to believe that. Next step is just owning your own wins and keeping track of it. And swap all. Like, I was just lucky. Like, we're not talking about lucky winning the lottery or blackjack here. We're talking about actually we're talking about actually betting on yourself and believing that you did something. Instead of being like, oh, like that was just a lucky goal, or like one time I was just like, oh, like I just had a lucky run, like I just had a lucky day, like things just went my way today. It's like, no, they went your way because you put in the work, you put in the action, You took movements for it to be there. Be proud of yourself. Don't count this as a one-off, right? Because you prepared. You prepared for it. You put in the work to get there. You went from running a 25-minute 5K to a 24-minute 5K. That's not luck. You didn't just wake up one morning and run a minute faster. You have been running for the last week consecutively. And when you're running for a week consecutively, you know what happens? Your fitness goes up, your aerobic fitness. And then you can run faster. Own your wins. Keep track. This is why I get all my clients to get a journal, and I might just start getting custom journals, which would be super sick. I like the thought of that. But everyone needs a journal. Get a journal, write down your wins. Have a page straight for wins every single day. Write down like things you did good. And then also keep track to plan your days. So you plan your actionable steps. Every single morning, write down the actions you need to take, right? It's not just a to-do list, but it's like the actions you need to take, or like the mornings, like you can find, like for me, the last 2 days, I woke up at 5 a.m. again. For the last week before that, I was waking up at 7. And I've gotten probably twice as much more work that I've got done today and yesterday than I have throughout the last like 5 days, because I woke up 2 hours earlier, because I know, and I know in my head, and I know with my actions, when I get up earlier, I perform better. So I just need to continue to stick with that. So it's pick the actions that benefit you and move you closer to wherever you want to go, whatever your goal is. And then once you have this, like once you have your wins, let's say I ran a marathon, right? I believe I can run a marathon. I believe I'm a runner. I believe I'm going to make $10,000 in a month. I believe I'll be successful. I believe I can do absolutely anything. We're going to install it, and we're going to test it through the action, right? So this is how to isolate this whole section right here, the Ike ROI. This is how to actually identify like what's been holding you back, and then we're going to break it through action. So move down. This is right growth mindset plus self-efficiency. I can grow and I can succeed. This is the mindset you need to have 100%. After you take action, is it holding up? Are you staying consistent? Did you go from running 0 days and are you running consistently now? Right? When I say consistently, because 23 days builds a habit. And to build consistency, you need to show up every single day. Do you brush your teeth every day? I really hope so. To be honest, I really hope you brush your teeth every single day. If you don't, gross, but I hope so. Right? Like, it's just consistent. It's been indulged in us since we were a little kid to brush our teeth. Yeah, it's been indulged in us since we were a little kid to brush our teeth every single day. So it's a habit. It's a belief, right? We believe that we need to brush our teeth every single day. It'll keep our hygiene clean. Yes, obviously, that is a great belief. I don't want to take that away from anyone, right? But if you have a belief saying, maybe you had the fear of failure going to the gym because you're not in shape and you're scared to go, or it's the fear of posting content because you're scared of what other people think. When you post your first couple videos, you finally take that action and you realize no one's going to send you a hate comment and no one really cares. You know what? Maybe even have someone slide into your DMs and tell you that you're inspiring them. Is this going to hold the belief up? If someone told you you're inspiring them, is that going to reinforce your current new belief that's benefiting you? 100%. 100%. First time that ever happened to me. His name was McQuim. And I'm still in contact with him now. And he's one of my clients that work with him. 500 followers. And he told me I changed his life. And I inspired him to chase his dreams. That's a feeling I won't forget. And he almost entailed the belief in myself that what I was doing was right and that I could do what I set out to do. Sometimes it does take someone else telling you what it is, because it is lonely sometimes. But I'm just telling you, your belief will hold up. You just have to believe in yourself, and that's the hardest part. When you can believe in yourself, and people notice that you believe in yourself, other people will start to believe in you. And great things will happen. Yes, the belief is set, okay? Locked and loaded. Then we isolate your levers, right? So what are levers? They're clear goals, deliberate practices, systems, and habits. This is how we're building it. This is how we build the new beliefs, right? So let's say I wanted to run a sub 3-hour marathon, right? So that is a very clear goal. 3-hour sub. I'm not going to draw anymore. I suck at it. I'm just going to type sub 3-hour marathon. Boom. Clear goal. Sub 3-hour marathon, right? Deliberate practice. What is deliberate practice? I'm just going to say run every single day. Boom. Okay. There's your deliberate practice. These are 2 out of the 3 levers. Now let's break down some systems for levers for our clear goal of a sub 3-hour marathon, right? We're going to do long runs Sundays, 3 tempo runs, some short runs, and then some sprint work. Ready? Boom. I'm just going to throw that. Oh, nope. I don't like that. There we go. Okay, so we have our systems. I wouldn't say those are so much. They are habits, yes. Runs are habits. But what would be another good habit if we're trying to train for a sub 3-hour marathon? I'm going to put stretch every single day. All right, that's another habit. Another one could even be hydrate every single morning with 40 grams of carbs prior to workout. All right, all of this. All of these are habits, and I like to call these all the levers. And when you have your levers, the only way, this is how to take actionable steps, right? So build your levers. And then we get support, right? The feedback loops. This is what I was talking about before. When people give you support and they give you feedback, it is crucial because it is a lonely journey, whether it's entrepreneurship, content creation, even the fitness sometimes, even going to the gym, it can be super lonely. And when you have the right support, it's gonna push you to do better things and push you to keep going. And your environment shapes your reality 100%. If you live in a small town and all your friends play video games and they go to the bar and drink, is it going to be easier or harder to go on a run? No, it's going to be a lot harder to go on a run if none of your friends do it, right? If no one in your environment is physically active and you're training for a sub 3-hour marathon and you're doing it alone, it's going to be a lot harder than if you lived in a city like Austin, Texas, and there's run clubs Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m., 6 a.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., right? If there's like run clubs every single day, it's almost a non-negotiable. Or if you're trying to cut out and eat more whole foods, but you live in a house and maybe your dad's like fat as fuck, I don't know, and he just eats a bag of chips every single day, comes home, eats a bag of chips, and there's always snacks in the house. Is it going to be easier to eat whole foods, or is it going to be more tempting to kind of go back to your old ways? It's going to be way more tempting. And then also just another support side is just self-compassion. Why would you talk to yourself in a negative way? I used to do it all the time. Would you ask yourself in the mirror, would you talk to someone like you talk to yourself? Would you treat someone like that? If the answer is no, then change the way you talk to yourself. You should talk to yourself the exact same as you talk to your best friend. What do you do after you find these feedback loops in your self-compassion? You apply them instantly. Application. Going back to what I was saying before. Take consistent action every single day. Consistent action is better than action once in a while, right? Running 3 kilometers a day every single day is better than running 20 kilometers once a week. It's going to get you farther. Eating healthy every single day. Eating 80% healthy every single day rather than eating clean once and eating like shit for the rest of the week. It's going to get you farther, right? Consistency builds momentum and it builds habits. Early wins become real evidence that you can do what you set out to do, right? When you have an early win, it's got to motivate you 100%, and it will build this evidence. And it's super important we log your evidence. We keep track of it in a journal, and we log it every single time. Every single time you get something done, whether it's day 1, day 2, another one, let's say, ran 5 days a week. Keep evidence so you look back and you believe you can do the things you say you do. Because that's where the imposter syndrome comes back in, the lack of evidence. But if you keep an evidence log from the early wins, there's no reason that you should ever get imposter syndrome. That was a really shitty start, by the way. You need to keep action, and you need to keep evidence, okay? Consistent action builds habits. which builds down here. The virtuous cycle, right? Each win builds a belief. Bigger action and bigger results, right? The more action you take, it's just this simple graph. Like, I know a lot of you guys have seen this before, right? The more you fuck around. Oh, shit. I know you guys have seen something like this before, right? Like, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out, right? The less you fuck around, the less you're going to find out. The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. It's the same with action, right? So, action, I'll just say results over here. Results. See if I can change the color here for you guys. Right, the more action you take, the more results you're going to get. It's a very linear line. It is a very linear line. Sometimes when you take action, results always happen. They could be negative results. Sometimes maybe they'll go back. Maybe they'll go backwards. Maybe they'll go like this. Maybe go like this a little bit. You're still going to get results, but then you're just going to go. Like, it's always moving up. Action is always moving forward. The more action you take, you might go down, you might go up, and you're just going to skyrocket. And what happens here? What happens when you each wins, build a belief, and you're actually keeping evidence of them, right? Then your results start to compound. 1% better every single day. Just continue to get 1% better every single day. Your results will compound. The more action you take, right? The more action you take, the more your results will compound, and the more these fears will be overcame. Your limiting beliefs. What happens there? You will achieve everything possible, and you will reach your full potential. And the only way to do this is what? Let me guess. Action. That's the only way. Simple as forward. Only way. Only damn way. Your fear is going to hold you back, but the only way to get there is action. And what happens when the belief grows? Right? Your mindset plus self-efficiency. And then you just get in a loop and you continue to fill your bubble and fill your plate. That was a lot. I didn't realize that I could talk for limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome for 45 minutes to an hour, and I was going to go over all of these. I have like 6 more. I'll probably talk about them for a while as well. But I'll give you a quick rundown. Identity-based habits, how to form habits, 4 different laws of behavior, and we'll also break down how to implement systems and build systems into your life. And then breaking down how all of this actually correlates with content creation and how you'll achieve everything you've ever wanted and how you can monetize. I'll break that down. But basically, just to sum it up, right? Limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome will keep you stuck, not living up to your potential. How do you break limiting beliefs? Only way is action, right? Take action to break your limiting beliefs. That is the only way. And will they hold you back? Will limiting beliefs come back? Yes, sometimes. And then will imposter syndrome kick in? Always. Everyone will get imposter syndrome. But what causes imposter syndrome to come back? Because you didn't break your limiting beliefs well enough in the first place. And you got to be brutally honest with yourself, right? Remember number 10 and number 8. They're both doing the things. Number 8 puts in too much work, but doesn't see results. Number 10 has results, but he doesn't put in the work, right? So he's fear being found out for not putting in the work. You discount your wins. You can't discount your wins. All you need to do is continue to show up every single day in accordance to the version of yourself that has everything achieved that they've already wanted. Okay, well, this is something I want you guys to do. This is an exercise that I take all my clients through, and I want you guys to do this. So, when you go and talk about a scarcity mindset, scarcity versus abundance, okay? So a scarcity mindset is literally acting and believing as if everything you've ever wanted and ever going to have is what you currently have, right? The lifestyle, the money, the family, the girlfriend, the wallet, the dog, the house, everything you already have is what you're going to get. And you're stuck in this mediocre, realistic mindset. Right? You're acting from a position of fear, right? Acting as if less of money is a tool and money is something you need to buy. Like, you need to work hard for your money so you can live, right? It's like, yeah, you need money to live, but money is a tool. Spend money. Money comes and goes. It fluctuates. It's fake. It's not real. And when you can adopt that mindset, which everything will come, right? So instead of thinking like a scarcity mindset, I can't achieve this, it's not possible. I'll never feel how I did before. Maybe you went through a breakup. I'll never meet a girl like that before. Like I'll never do that. Or I'll never make this hockey team. I'll never feel like that before. Is that benefiting you? No. That is what we call a scarcity mindset. And a lot of people are stuck in a scarcity mindset, more victim mentality in a way. Things happen to you instead of for you, right? So blaming other people. I could sit here and talk to you for 10, 12 hours telling you why I didn't make the NHL. But at the end of the day, is me making all these external excuses going to get me anywhere or benefit me at all? No. Because at the end of the day, if I wanted it bad enough, I wouldn't have hung out with girls. I wouldn't have partied when I did. Because there's always someone less fortunate than me, not as good as me, not as much money, but you know what they did to get there? They took consistent action. And they put in more work than I did. And I'm not proud of it, but I'm man enough to say it, right? If I wanted to be in the NHL, I would have been there. I wish I had the mindset I had today when I was still playing sports. And that's why I'm preaching this. That's why I want to help people with the mindset stuff. Because when your mindset and you're fully acting in an abundance mindset, you can achieve anything. Absolutely anything. Anything, right? An abundance mindset, acting and breathing as if everything, I mean everything you've ever wanted is on the way. Time just hasn't caught up yet, right? Maybe you want a Lamborghini, a Rolls Royce, a hot girlfriend. Maybe you want to retire your mom and help her out. Like that's a big one for me, right? Acting and breathing as if everything you've ever wanted is on the way. The only thing, time, just hasn't caught up yet. And it's detaching yourself from the outcome. I used to move, especially getting into sales. I don't want to talk about sales anymore, but especially getting into this, right? When you're acting and breathing as if everything is on the way, time just hasn't caught up yet, you're moving at a very high frequency. This is like my demonstration, what I like to call it. I'll draw it out right here. So imagine two very big lines. I'm sure you guys have like played Geometry Dash before. So this would be a very low frequency. So it's a line, boom, boom. You see how it takes a couple seconds for it to get there. It takes a couple seconds for it to get there. Right? So these are your highs and these are your lows. And when you're operating at a low frequency, this is the baseline. Right? So your highs are high and your lows are also low. Right? So when you have a good day, you have a really good day. But then when you have a bad day, you drop and you have a really bad day. And they just keep bouncing, right? They keep bouncing. But when you detach from the outcome, your frequency goes to a higher frequency, not a low frequency. And this is what it looks like. So I'm just going to zoom in, just because I want to make it a little bit bigger. So I guess I don't need to do that. So let's say you have this. This is a very high frequency. Okay, so this is a low frequency when you're bouncing up and down. If you were to have a very high frequency, let's say this is the baseline. It's going to look a little bit like a road today. I'm getting better at this. Right? And then you're just going. Okay, you see the difference? Obviously, you see the difference, right? But when you're like this, it's a very, see how quick that is? You see how quick that is? But the baseline is right here. So that's that. Okay, you see how fast this is? I am moving, like, think of it like this, right? Bouncing low. Highs are high, lows are low. Highs are high, lows are low. But when you're moving at such a high frequency, you're going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, right? So if this is your highest point mentally and emotionally, and this is your lowest point, you see the difference? Right? Like you see the difference in size of where your head's at. Like look how big that is. Like that's got to be like, let's just say that's like 10 meters, right? And then if you look at this, how big a difference that is, like the difference between, like when you're high, it's like your emotional state and your beliefs is going up and down and up and down and up and down. So it's like crazy. You have a good day and you have a bad day. It's like yin and yang, complete polar opposite. But when you're moving at such a high frequency in an abundance mindset, you're inside this lock where it's not, it doesn't change that much, and it's almost a numbness in a way. And you know everything's going to happen. You know all the right things are on the way. Time just hasn't caught up yet. So you're just cruising. You're just cruising at a high frequency. And then external factors, like people can throw negative talk at you. And you know what it does? It just, instead of it like going in and breaking through the wall because there's all this space here and it gets stuck, like the self-doubt, it all comes in here. But when you're moving at such a high frequency, you're moving so fast that people throw shit and it just bounces off. It just bounces off. Negative talk, it just bounces off. You know what happens when you're moving at high frequency? The self-doubt, it creeps in. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. It just bounces off, right? But when you're moving at a really low frequency and it's like, brr, brr, look how much more room there is here. It's like, ooh, self-doubt. Oh, yeah, I can come in. Oh, I can do a little turn. Maybe not. Maybe hezzy. And then, oh, no, you're back in there, right? The self-doubt just stays. And then it just starts to linger. But when you're moving at a high frequency, it just bounces out. It's like molecules and particles in a desk. Something like that. Like a solid. Like when you're in an abundance mindset, like you're a solid. Shit just bounces right off. Right? And then when you're moving at a low frequency, you're just water. You're buoyant. People bounce on you. It'll float. It'll stick to you. Right? That's kind of like how I think of it. And just you want to detach from the outcome, right? Detaching yourself from the outcome entirely. And just learn to enjoy the process. Or else you'll never stay disciplined. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're not going to stay disciplined because motivation will fade. And what I want you guys to do is learn how to design your 2.0 self, right? Really, like what I like to think of is a hard day when I'm laying in bed and I don't want to do something. With the 2.0 version of myself, the one that already has everything I've ever wanted, the one that's retired as mom, the one that's running a successful business, the one that's helped everyone do the same and make money through social media, all the athletes, help them transition outside of sport, help them rewire their mind. What would the 2.0 version of themselves? Would they snooze their alarm or would they get out of bed? 100% get out of bed. The answer is always yes. All right, so it's deciding what their beliefs are. Do they believe everything happens to them or for them? Right? For them. Does he believe that he's capable of doing the things he sets out to do? Or does he have self-doubt? He doesn't have self-doubt. Right? He believes everything. What actions do they take and where are they based from? Well, for instance, like my 2.0 version, he gets up between 5 and 4 a.m. He doesn't stuff and where are they based from? Because I know I work better early in the mornings. Right? What actions do they take? Are they physically fit? Physically capable? Do they work out? What actions do they take and where are they based from? Right? Does he work out? Does he run? Does he journal? What's his relationship with his family like? What kind of things does he do on a daily basis to get him to where he needs to be? And how would your life be different if you actually started acting in accordance with this 2.0 version? That's what I want you to ask yourself. How would life be different if you started doing the things that the successful version of yourself has done? Okay. Challenge everything you do. Absolutely everything. I'm going to challenge everything. Okay? You're going to break down your mindset on fear. Right? What do you do when you're scared? Are you scared of heights? Do you jump and overcome the fear? Imagine you're standing on the top of a cliff. Does it get scarier the more you stand up there? Yeah, 100%. And what happens when you jump? This guy up here, like what happens when he just jumps off? Do you think he gets scared when he jumps? Or do you think when he jumps into the water, it's really not that bad? That's not very good water. It looks like cement, my bad. It's probably a lot easier, right? When he jumps off the cliff, it goes away. The fear goes away. It's the same when you're at the bar or you're out, you're in school and you're scared to talk to a girl because you're scared of what she's going to think of you, right? And you go up there and you introduce yourself, or guy, vice versa, whichever gender you are watching this, right? If you ask someone out, go approach someone you're scared of approaching, you realize it's not that bad. Or you get up on stage and you talk through something, or you post a video for the first time and it gets a couple likes and you're super scared. The only way, like, what do you do when you're scared, right? Do you face it or do you let it control and dictate your life? Because I sure as hell don't want to live a life where I let fear control my outcome and fear stop me from achieving everything I've ever wanted. Think about that. What do you do when you're scared? And then I also want you to break down your mindset on failure, right? What do you do when you fail? I was going over this with my athletes at summer camp this week. What do you do when you fail? Do you let that stop you? Do you just give up on yourself and never try again? Or do you learn from your mistakes, take it as a blessing in disguise, right? This is my mindset on fear. I'll share it with you guys. A failure, every failure and every setback is a blessing in disguise, right? In order to learn, you must fail. If you failed something twice, clearly you didn't learn a big enough lesson the first time. Stop what you're doing, reflect, learn why you failed, adjust the course of your vehicle, and continue to go, right? So when you fail, you need to take it as a learning experience. Everyone fails. High-performing athletes fail, right? NHL, 32 teams. Only one team wins every single year. Failing is essential in life. You're not going to build a successful business without failing, right? You're not going to bench 225 pounds without failing before. You only get past failure when you learn. And failing is essential to achieve everything because it teaches you things. It teaches you more things about yourself and about your own journey that anyone else can, that anyone can tell you. I want you to list out everything you procrastinate on. A lot of people, one of my clients, his phone. Yeah, I'm just going to be blunt. It's the phone. Even I procrastinate on my phone sometimes. And what do I do with my phone? I throw it in my backpack, I zip it up, and I throw it on the deck. And then I can't go on it. Like, you need to figure out what you procrastinate. Oops, wrong one. You need to figure out what you procrastinate with and why. And why you procrastinate. Why are you going on your phone? Oh, well, maybe it's a self-doubt coming back, right? And list out all the procrastinations, why you procrastinate. Maybe it's fitness, right? Like, even I used to procrastinate with fitness where I was like, I'm just going to go on a run because I was like still scared of doing my stuff. And I used to tell myself, I was like, oh, like, I'm just super physically active and I need to work out. But no, like, I ended up like just going to the gym and I just kept putting things off and I would just go work out longer and longer and longer because I didn't want to do stuff, right? And procrastination is a symptom. Procrastination is a symptom of fear, right? So it's figuring out why you procrastinate, isolating it, bringing it back to fear, and also listing out what you procrastinate with. And then what I want you guys to do is figure out exactly what needs to change and just be brutally honest with yourself. If you cheat this, you're only cheating yourself. The only way to get to where you want to be is to be brutally honest and take control of your own story. If you play victim in your own life, I'm telling you, you're not achieving shit. You're not. You need to be brutally honest with yourself on what needs to change if you want to achieve the things you want to achieve. And with all these, all of them done in a journal. You don't have to have a journal if you don't have a journal, but do it on a piece of paper. Write it down with a pen. Don't sit here with your keyboard. Don't type it into ChatGPT. Just do the work, and great things will happen. I'm telling you. Just do the damn work. Please. And these are just some questions I want you to ask yourself as well on top of that, right? What does it cost for you to settle for less? And how much is it costing you not to adopt an abundance mindset, right? How much would life be different? Like, how would life be different if you actually were living in an abundance mindset? Would you have a better car? Would you have a girlfriend? Or maybe you would be single. Maybe you would have stepped out of the relationship that's not serving you. Would you have retired your parents by now? Would you be posting content because you're not afraid of what other people think? Would you be living in Bali? Would you be traveling the world? Or would you still be living your 9-to-5 job? Right? Like, I don't know. But what would it cost you to settle for less? And I want you to make the change. Okay? Make the change. Change your life forever. And do it. Well, that was my breakdown on limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, and how to switch your mindset. Okay, I will be doing multiple of these. There's a lot more to come. I'm going to be a breakdown on all the identity basis stuff like this. I genuinely thought I would be able to get through this in an hour, but it's already been over an hour. And so, but what I want to give you guys is some actionable steps I want you guys to take so you guys aren't just leaving this with a whole bunch of information and you guys can actually do something about it, okay? DM me on Instagram if you have any questions, first and foremost. I will answer all your guys' DMs. That's why I do this. I love it. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. Number 2 is I want you guys to complete your scarcity versus abundance challenge. That is right here when I went over this. Break down your mindset on fear, failure, procrastination, and what needs to change. You guys can pull out the video. You can bring it back to this, pause the screen, do all that good stuff. Okay? Once you have done that and challenged all that stuff, feel free to message me on Instagram as well. Right? You can bring it back. feel free to message me on Instagram. You can get me to look over it, and I'll challenge you on some of the stuff and see how you did, and I'll give you tips. Okay? And then number 3, I only work with a couple people a month because it is a high one-on-one mentorship. But if you're interested in entrepreneurship, content creation, or just working with me and my team, book a call with me. The link is below. Call is completely free. It's just for me to get to know you a bit better, and we kind of build out a game plan, figure out what you're struggling with, mindset, and then we also go through like the content creation side and how I monetize my social media and transition outside of sports. The whole thing with what I do in my business is we help individuals. I like to work with a lot of athletes because they're super ambitious individuals, and I believe they can achieve anything. But if you're not an athlete, don't worry. You can still book in a call, and you can still reach out to me. What we do on the call is we break down, we isolate a skill. We figure out what we're going to build your brand around. If you already have a personal brand, that's good. If not, or if you have any fears about posting content, you know what? I'm going to help you overcome that. And we're going to dive all in together. We're going to build a game plan so you can start posting the right way and actually post with intention to monetize and change your life forever. Because I was you. I was in the exact same position. I worked a shitty 9 to 5. I hated it. I roofed. I was making good money. But I wasn't living up to my potential. I don't like that word, but I wasn't living up to my potential. And I knew I was meant for more. So if that's you, book in a call, message me on Instagram, and we'll chat. Thank you guys for watching this video.